Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're cracking open a blueprint that's, well, it's more than just a book. It's really a full operating system for effectiveness.
And one that's still shaping leaders decades later.
Absolutely. We are plunging into Stephen R. Covey's framework, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
And it's a great one for a deep dive because our source is really keyed in on the audiobook analysis.
Oh, that's interesting. Why the audiobook specifically?
Well, many people feel it just captures the material in a more authentic way. It feels less like a textbook and, more like a really powerful one-on-one mentorship session.
Right. And in a world that is just flooded with quick tips and productivity hacks, Covey gave us this masterclass built on timeless principles.
Things like integrity, responsibility, cooperation.
And the core idea, the thesis that holds it all together, it's surprisingly simple, but profound. It's this idea that true effectiveness has to start from within.
Yes, you have to get that private victory before you can even think about public success.
And the structure is it's everything. These aren't just 7 random ideas in a list.
No, not at all. They're designed as building blocks. They build on each other, moving you from dependence to independence. That's the private victory.
And then from independence to interdependence, the public victory.
Exactly.
So if you're looking for that comprehensive shortcut, not just a summary, but the real mechanics behind the principles, the relationship strategies, and the key to renewal, this deep dive is for you. We're distilling the whole thing.
And we had to start where Covey starts, with internal mastery. He's so clear on this. If you skip the private victory, all your public efforts are just going to fail.
So habits 1, 2, and 3, all about mastering yourself.
Gaining that independence.
Let's jump in. Habit number 1, be proactive. Now this one, it sounds a little like management buzzword bingo,
It can, but the insight here is actually pretty radical. It's a total paradigm shift. It's all about what's driving your life.
Okay, unpack that for me.
Covey argues, your life is driven by conscious choices, not your circumstances. So a reactive person uses language like, I can't, or I have to, or if only my boss would.
They're blaming things outside of themselves.
Completely. They're externalizing.
Yeah.
But a proactive person, they choose their response, no matter what's happening. They use empowering language. I choose to, I can, I will.
And this is where that circle of influence concept comes in, right?
Exactly. Reactive people waste all their energy on their circle of concern, things they can't control. Politics, the weather, other people's choices.
But proactive people.
They focus their energy on their circle of influence, the things they can actually do something about.
So I have to ask, what about when a circumstance is genuinely overwhelming, like a major job loss or a serious illness?
Yeah.
How does being proactive help then?
That's a great question. And Covey's answer isn't to, deny the pain. It's to acknowledge that even in the absolute worst situations, you still have the freedom to choose your response, your attitude.
So it's about where you focus your energy.
Precisely. The sources say this shift in focus is the whole mechanism of habit 1. You focus on the small things you can influence, your skills, your network, your mindset, and what happens is your circle of influence actually starts to grow.
That makes a lot of sense. So once you accept that emotional responsibility, once you know you're in the driver's seat, well, you need a destination.
Which takes us right to habit number 2. Begin with the end in mind.
The habit of vision and purpose.
Yes. Covey calls this the mental creation that happens before the physical creation.
So if habit 1 is like changing the tires.
Habit 2 is making sure you're on the right road in the first place.
And this is where the audiobook version apparently delivers a huge aha moment. The sources we looked at all highlighted this almost startling visualization exercise.
Like funeral exercise.
Yeah. He literally asks you to stop what you're doing and imagine your own funeral.
It's a very intentional move.
Yeah.
It forces you to confront the end so you can define the legacy you actually want to leave. What do you want people to say about you?
And that becomes the raw material for your personal mission statement.
Exactly. It's not about fuzzy goals. It's about defining your personal constitution, the principles you live by.
So when a tough choice comes up, say short-term gain versus long-term integrity, you just consult your constitution.
You've already made the decision, in a way. Habit 2 gives you that direction, so your daily actions are always aligned with your ultimate goals.
Okay, so we have responsibility from habit 1 and direction from habit 2. The final step in this private victory is habit 3, execution. Put first things first.
And this is where so many of us struggle. We're busy, but are we actually productive?
This is the time management habit.
Well, it's really a life management habit. It introduces the famous time management matrix.
Right. Urgent versus important. Most of us, I think, are stuck in the urgent quadrants.
Totally. We're either firefighting in quadrant 1, which is for urgent and important crises.
Or we're chasing emails and interruptions in quadrant 3. Urgent, but not actually important.
And that's the definition of being inefficient. Covey says the goal is to live primarily in quadrant 2.
The important, not urgent quadrant.
Yes. That's where planning happens. Prevention. Relationship building. Real, deep work.
But how do you find the time for Q2? It feels like the world is just constantly throwing Q1 and Q3 stuff at you.
2 things. First, you have to learn to say no to the time wasters, the Q3 and Q4 stuff. And that takes courage that's rooted in your mission statement from habit 2.
And the second thing?
You have to proactively schedule your Q2 time, usually through weekly planning. You don't just schedule your appointments, you schedule your priorities first.
That's a huge shift. You're acting on your values, not just reacting to pressure.
And that right there is the cornerstone of the private victory. You've mastered your will, you have your direction, you can prioritize.
You're no longer dependent, chasing validation. You're independent.
Exactly. And now you're ready to move outward to the public victory.
Habits 4, 5, and 6. Mastering relationships.
Interdependence.
And the first step is habit 4. Think win-win. This means we have to let go of this idea that success is always a competition.
Right. Covey says that win-win is the only paradigm that works for long-term, trusting relationships. It's a mindset of always seeking mutual benefit.
And to even get to a place where you can do that, you need a solid foundation. This is where the emotional bank account comes in.
It's such a perfect metaphor. Every interaction is either a deposit,
like being courteous, keeping a promise,
or a withdrawal.
Yeah.
Breaking a promise, ignoring someone. And you can't have a win-win conversation if that bank account is overdrawn. Trust is the currency.
That idea of building trust, it leads right into what I think is maybe the most powerful habit of them all. Habit 5.
Seek first to understand, then to be understood.
Our sources called this one of the most emotional chapters in the whole framework.
Because it targets such a fundamental human flaw. Most of us listen with the intent to reply.
We're just waiting for a pause so we can jump in.
Exactly. We're formulating our response, filtering everything through our own experiences, our own autobiography, and trying to fix their problem.
Instead of what Covey calls empathetic listening. What does that actually look like in practice?
It's diagnostic. You have to diagnose before you prescribe, like a good doctor. You're listening not just for the words, but for the feelings, the meaning behind them.
So you're not jumping in with, well, here's what you should do.
No. You're mirroring. You're
Yeah.
reflecting. You say something like, it sounds like you feel really frustrated by this.
That shift diagnosing before prescribing, that's where real influence is born.
It creates such a deep connection that when you finally do share your perspective, the then to be understood part, the other person is actually ready to listen.
And that makes the final public habit possible.
Habit 6, synergize.
This is the climax of the public victory.
It's Covey's famous math. 1 + 1 can equal 3, or 10, or 100.
And synergy isn't just compromise, right?
No, compromise is 1 + 1 = 1.5. Everyone loses something. Synergy is about creating a brand new third alternative that nobody had thought of before.
So you have to value the differences between people, not fight them.
You have to celebrate them. That creative cooperation is what leads to real innovation. It's built on mutual respect from habit 5 and mutual benefit from habit 4.
Okay, so we've mastered ourselves with the private victory, and we've mastered relationships with the public victory. But how do we sustain it?
That brings us to that habit that wraps around all the others. Habit 7, sharpen the saw.
The habit of renewal, preventing burnout.
It's the commitment to taking care of your greatest asset, which is you.
And he breaks this down into 4 key dimensions.
Yeah, the 4 dimensions are really straightforward. There's the physical exercise, nutrition, the mental reading, learning, and the emotional social building relationships, serving others.
But there's a 4th one that often gets missed in, typical productivity talk, the spiritual dimension.
And that's the one that's so vital, because spiritual renewal, whether it's meditation or spending time in nature or clarifying your values, that's what connects habit 7 right back to habit 2.
To your mission statement.
Exactly. If you don't continually sharpen that spiritual dimension, your purpose gets blurry and the other 6 habits lose their anchor. It's what keeps the whole system running.
Wow. It all really does lock together. The whole blueprint is so cohesive.
It's completely interdependent.
Looking back at the overall assessment, what were the big strengths that stood out in the sources?
The reviews were consistently positive. 1, the principles are just universal. It doesn't matter if you're a student or a CEO. And two, the narration in the audiobook was praised for being warm, clear. It really does feel like personal mentorship.
Yeah, I saw that too. And the blend of content is key. It's not just corporate speak. It's this mix of philosophy, real-life stories, and case studies that makes it all stick.
And maybe the most important thing, the principles are timeless. This isn't some trend. It addresses fundamental aspects of human character. They work today for the same reason they worked decades ago. Human nature hasn't changed.
So when we put it all together, what does this synthesis mean for you, the listener?
I think it means you have a manual for life that is genuinely transformational. It teaches you how to build character, how to focus, how to communicate with empathy, and ultimately, how to live with purpose.
It's not about doing more things. It's about aligning who you are with what you do.
A shift in alignment, not just activity.
That is a powerful takeaway. And as we wrap up, we want to leave you with one final thought, something to really chew on.
We said that the entire system is built on habit one, on learning how to respond instead of just reacting.
But what if you haven't mastered that? If you're still blaming circumstances or other people? Just think for a second about how the whole system collapses.
If that foundation of emotional responsibility is missing.
Which of the other 6 habits becomes completely and utterly impossible to implement?
Think about it. How can you have a mission statement if you believe you're not in control? How can you possibly think win-win if you're stuck in a mindset of blame?
It's worth considering, because understanding that dependency, it just reveals the incredible power and genius of Covey's framework.
Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the blueprint for effectiveness. We hope you feel ready to start building your own private and public victories today.